Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Welcome again to Street Talk. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and on Street Talk, we deal with the political, social, and economics here in Michigan, the U.S., and abroad. Now, joining me tonight,
Charles Thomas,
Paget Maynard.
We got a lot to cover tonight, but let's. Chicago was the most deadliest weekend I heard in history. Now, when we think about Chicago, it's been sitting there for all these years, and it's most deadly in history.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, blacks killing blacks.
Right. And it's our community. And we have an issue in our community, not just in Chicago, even though Chicago stands out, but nationwide in the black community.
Okay.
Well, in most countries where there's poverty, where there's different issues of self-awareness.
Okay.
You have people that don't know themselves and have low self-esteem, or you get that individualism that, you know, I got, you ain't got, and, you know, different categories in our community that is not being addressed. And this is one of the stimulants that causes a lot of self-hate because of the level of poverty. And most African-American men don't have any role models. You know, there's a whole generation that was raised without a father in the family. And I think it's just out of control because we did not address it as black men. You know, the issues that we were putting down when we were abusive to our women, our black women. The black men, you know, didn't protect the women and treated them badly. They raised the boys, and boys thought they were men, but they didn't know what a man was. And the mother said that you're the man of the house now. But when you put that pressure on a young boy at an early age to be a man, and he don't know what a man is, he's going around half cocked or quick on the trigger. So we got to have an open forum in our communities and to address the issues of this violence and this self-hate that's being perpetuated. And then the black churches are not assisting the black community as leaders in the community. They turn the other cheek because they don't know the issue, or they don't want to address the issue. All they want is people in the congregation to attend their church, but they want to talk about the issues that are facing them when the members go home. And it's just running rapid.
I hear you. Patrick?
You know, I more so want to ask a question than to address that.
Okay.
But I support Charles in that one of the major issues we have is that in our black communities, guys didn't get to be guys. Boys didn't get to be boys. Too soon they had to play the role of the father of the house because father is gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, too many single mothers, single parent raising youngsters. And a mother can do so much. She cannot adequately fill the father's shoes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that now translates to our boys never get to grow up into manhood, unfortunately. But I got a question that I said I would prefer to ask. Why is it that we have our youngsters, apart from what I said and what Charles said, what else is there that we can look at and see, well, something is going on? Is it an outside force that is perpetuating this and getting us into this mold so that we end up doing the things we do without being conscious of it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's the lack of responsibility in the black community from men that are our conscious to step up and to, it's going beyond mentoring, but be an example or being a role model or having in place programs to transition these young boys from the street to responsibility or to be, or what it's like to be a man or the responsibility of a man. And if you have a child, you know, how to take care of that child or be a provider, you know, instead of a taker.
Right.
You know, Reverend Farrakhan, Brother Farrakhan, he's got men's out working all over the U.S., but especially in Chicago. And you know, it just bugs me that the South Side of Chicago is the most deathless place. It is, you know, the South Side of Chicago and all of Memphis town. You know, it's like all the suburbs. So
Baltimore.
So, and you know, I hear what both of y'all are saying, but all of these kids are not coming from homes where it's one parent and no parent, and all of these kids are not coming from that kind of home. Some of these kids have got two parents at home, two working parents at home, and still they're out there acting a fool.
Yeah, but they got to get in the streets, and in the streets, that's where Pookie is. And Pookie will call you out. And if you have to man up to deal with Pookie. So, you know, if you've been influenced by Pookie when you go home, you can still be the little boy, but when you get out in the streets, you got to Pookie up.
Yeah. It's just, man, it puzzles me, bugs me, and all other things, because we'll study killing each other, and all the other races are looking at us doing this to each other.
Right.
We are not that dumb.
No, we're not that dumb.
You know?
But we've been exploded. We've been sold out by, and this is just my opinion. The black church is the victim, or not the victim, is the perpetuator of a lot of low self-esteem. We got 80-something.
Why?
We got over 80 churches in the black community. I want to tell these black preachers, let my people go. Because they're not doing anything. All they're doing is taking, they're not giving. And people know the Bible, but if you don't live the Bible, then the Bible ain't going to live for you. You got to put those things into practice. You got to have faith. If you ain't got no faith, if you ain't got economics, I remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a program, Do for Self.
Mhm.
If black people had to stay with that program, do for yourself, even Frederick Douglass was talking about
Yeah.
it. E.B.D.
Yeah.
Boys was
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
it. Mark McGarry was
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
it. And until black people be responsible individuals and the community, this is going to get out of control.
Ah. Now,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
seems to me, if we are not taking control, somebody else is taking control. Somebody else is controlling us. And it goes back to the question I asked. Could it be outside forces, outside influences?
Yes.
Okay, you just say so many of us blacks are killing blacks.
Yeah.
Like this weekend in Chicago, a whole set of blacks killing blacks.
Yeah.
But where did that come from? What makes us start killing off each other like that? Is there some outside force that is really pushing us on, getting us into doing these things?
I you know, I don't. I guess I have a funny. Well, I have a way of thinking about. I just don't believe that all of us are like that. I know I'm not
No.
like that. You're not like that. And you're not like that.
Not all of
and
us.
there's a million of us not like that. And
But
I
you
don't.
see, Ahmad,
and
it's not the crowd. It's the few. Remember the old saying? One bad apple spoils how much?
The whole bush.
Whole bushel. And a few bad apples would be enough to taint us.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And there's
Go ahead, go ahead.
there's a few good ministers. There's more bad ministers than there are good ministers. That's why there's so many different churches. And then too, if you in a black community, and if you telling a black child that God is white, and then everything that you get, you got to go to somebody white to get it, and you a grown man, and you can't reach in your wallet in your community to establish something for your own people, for your own family, then the people that you are trying to service, they will not. It's
and not have the confidence.
low self-esteem,
We
Yeah.
tend
low trust.
we tend to go along with what we were taught from small.
Yeah, condition.
So that we are conditioned.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the right word. We are being conditioned. And by the way, you hear them talking about education. There was something they were talking the other day about education and taking them from childhood up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a brainwashing. It's geared to force you to follow what they want
They
you to
want.
follow. And we're hearing some talks, even with your vice president, making some statements, and I don't think that guy has any clue what he was saying. He's supposed to be a Christian, but if he were a solid Christian and knew his Bible and what it means, he would make certain statements.
So, yeah, right. But he's to me he's an atheist. He don't even believe in God. He downed LeBron James for building a school in the inner city, and he was
President
trying
Trump.
to ridicule him for that. And his wife, it caused a rift between him and his wife. His wife thought it was admirable that he would spend that kind of money on his people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And this idiot,
yeah,
your president,
yeah. You know,
But you know something? When I think you guys know this quite well. There's some place Magic Johnson wanted to purchase here.
yeah, right here
And
downtown.
they blocked him.
yeah,
But then people say Magic doesn't do anything in Lansing. But when he's trying to do something for the benefit of his people, those who had the power stopped it.
Yeah,
yeah.
But see, the thing is that anywhere U.S. I always say any place, I tell people all the time, you're going to be black. Okay, you're black. You know, you might have a different mind, but that skin,
yeah,
that skin.
pigment,
so you're black.
pigmentation, yeah.
So
Ain't changing.
so you're gonna be, you're gonna have to do a time and a half better than the person whoever, whatever country,
Yeah,
wherever
right.
you're at. So I guess lots of our people, man, has forgotten about that, man. Think about Frederick Douglass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a man who lived during the 1800s, you know, from the time he was, 21 years old, when he finally got himself free, until he died in 1896. The things he was saying then, and we are still dealing with.
Struggling with it.
Yeah.
We have regressed
Oh yeah.
more
yeah,
since then.
Yeah.
Integration wiped out all our businesses,
Yep.
and then they put freeways through the black community businesses.
Yep.
But we
Divide you, man.
we didn't bounce back.
No. No.
We stayed down.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Fear
Yeah.
Of what?
Of
Of
the-
whom?
of the man that we worship in church every Sunday, that white image. We don't want to make waves with it, and we hide behind religion in the black community. We don't apply it. We don't apply our faith. We don't apply our unity. We don't apply our love for one another.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having somebody in your house that's lazy,
Mm-hmm.
like Lazarus. You know, the Lazarus syndrome. You're just wrapped up in ignorance and fear,
Yeah.
and that's keeping us from moving forward as a people.
Yeah. Because right now, man, you go to the wire, you can see unless you know the black guy, but black guys meet you, you don't know. First thing they do, they looking the other way, keep them speaking, and it's like if some white guy walks by, they know. Oh man,
They talk their ear off.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that. I mean. It just bothers me.
Yeah. This guy told me this is how you train a flea. You put them in a jar, you put a top on the jar, and they jump and they hit their head on the jar. And then after a while, you can take the top off because they ain't gonna jump no higher.
You're not jumping.
they ain't gonna jump no higher than that top
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
And that's the situation that we're in. Slavery has put a kink in our survival mechanism.
Could it be, back to what you were saying, Ahmad? The guy will turn his face when a black brother come in.
Mm-hmm.
But he sees a white guy, he happens to, hey man, what's
Yeah,
up, what's
yeah.
up, what's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Could it be that for some reason we seem to think that by associating with that person, it lifts us up, whereas by
It's separate.
associating with your own, it pulls
Puts
you
you
down?
down. Yeah.
Charles just mentioned it back a while ago, and when he was saying about the thing, the young boys at home, they, but when they get out in the streets, they got
Yeah, man up. Yeah, because
And-
Pookie will beat them down.
Yeah, and this is the thing that, and you remember in the '60s, it wasn't like that.
Mm-mm.
You know, we seen a brother, hey brother, what's
Right,
going
you
on? Blah, blah.
speak- yeah.
And now it's gotten like that. What do you know some of the reason, or what could it be?
I think music influenced it,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and movies has and comedians have
yeah,
influenced
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
To me, the N word is not, is prevalent now.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
But if you think about black people, we are naggers, not niggers.
Right, yeah.
We complain
Yeah.
more than doing what we need to do.
Right.
We sit back and complain and nag.
Right, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
So we
Yeah.
gotta stop being naggers and start being doers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the main things is that I hear walking by different blacks, they'll be talking they talking about either they talking about somebody, they talking about whose hair. I mean, it's like conversation just about nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like why can't they be talking about something, but they talking about nothing?
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Because-
And another
Because
is-
they don't have anything upstairs.
Right.
And one of the reasons for that, too many of us just exist mentally. We don't try to educate ourselves. We don't try to read. You remember they used to have this program, RIF? Reading is fundamental.
Yeah, reading, writing.
Reading is fundamental. If you can't read, you're going to stumble around the place. You know, you might get by sometimes, but you're stumbling there.
Right.
But you know, a lot of these people, and you know, a lot of these people you be seeing in the wild, they educated, you know.
Yeah.
But
Very educated.
yeah, but somehow.
Now, you said they're educated. You mean they're certified?
Yeah.
You know, when you finish school,
They've
they give
been-
you a paper, say, this is to certify that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What-
Ahmad did, or
Yeah.
Charles
Yeah.
Paget did this, did that.
Yeah.
And now we give him this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But are they qualified?
No.
We have more certified than qualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, you call it certified. I call it white-aside. Because they're not bringing it back to the community. They taking their knowledge, that wealth, out of the community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Until you bring it back and use it in your community, you've been white-aside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a new one.
Yeah, and so that's what really bothers me. It's like all this education, and again, it's like the conversation is, you know, we didn't do this, or she didn't do that, or did you see it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
like,
Or I laid with this woman. I
Yeah,
laid with
yeah,
that
yeah,
woman.
you
I got
know?
this baby over
Yeah.
here, you know? It's flesh eating.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see, they have this boast. You know, it's a big boast. It's
Yeah.
like a notch in their belt.
Yeah.
Because they slept with so many women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one time I was sitting in the barber shop, and this guy came in and he was yapping how he was with this girl and calling her age and all of that and what he did, and he's supposed to go back and I'm sitting there. I said,
Grown
I
man.
don't even know who is here.
Yeah.
What if I were a police officer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if that was my daughter.
Yeah.
I could have
Yeah.
I could have arrested
Yeah,
him
yeah.
because he is now admitting he was having an affair with a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You don't know. Besides, man, you don't kiss and tell.
Right.
You know,
That's pillow talk.
you're supposed to keep that private. Whatever happened between you and somebody, that's between you and that person and nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've somehow we always get the wrong end of something, you know.
Yeah. But when you're not doing right, the universe will reward you for what you're putting out.
Yeah.
If you're putting out trash, the universe going to
You're
give you
gonna
trash.
get
Yeah.
You know, our community is suffering from morals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you got bad morals, you're going to get bad results.
Yeah.
If you got good morals, you're going to get good results.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take the family unit and expand it in a community unit, where we used to be a village in the black community. Everybody knew everybody. You
Yeah.
can borrow some
Yeah.
butter from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day to
yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah.
You know, we've lost that.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't respect one another.
Oh, no.
Everything is about greed,
Well, it
haves
goes
and
back to
have
what
not.
you said earlier, the individualism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We look for ourselves. We think of ourselves. We don't see us as a part of
Right, right,
something bigger.
right.
And you know, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Right.
And when we begin to understand that, we'll realize I need you, you need me,
Right.
Yeah.
we need him, we need her,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and together
Right.
we can come up with a structure that
Correct.
is going to benefit
Yeah.
all of us.
Because we got the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's and you mentioned that movies and all these other things is kind of
Outside influences.
yeah because I don't remember reading it for last year, but I know up until last year we make up 14 to 15% of the population, but 52% of all the gross income for movies were from us.
From blacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, we out there.
Wait a
matter-
second, Ahmad. 52%
Mhm.
of the gross income
Yeah.
for the movies
Yeah.
come from blacks.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we don't have it to give to our kids. Our kids don't have shoes.
No.
They don't have food.
No. No.
But we give it to the movies.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something now.
Priorities.
Priority number one. Who developed the movies? Who are doing these? Now, who is benefiting from our labor? Not our people.
No.
Not our kids.
No.
So, go back to some years back here, you had these black communities that they had everything. They had their own banking system, they had their own transportation system, and all the rest of it. And Dennis talks about that quite some.
Well, the thing about it is that, you know, 40 years ago, you know, I'm from Mississippi, you know, and from the South, from Indiana all the way down to Florida, and from North and South Carolina, Virginia, and all them, you had to deal with each other,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we was all poor.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
And
hey.
when everybody on the same page, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, and I remember my mother and father telling me, go to school, all of us, go to school so you can learn something, so you won't be in the shape we are in.
Mhm.
And
You do better.
Yeah, and your people. That's what. But now it seems as though parents are not telling the kid that. You know, there's a gap in there.
Yeah. We put more emphasis on education. We put more money on material things.
Yep.
But we forgot family structure.
Uh-huh.
My friend and I, brother Norman, he was talking about he said there were 3 categories of blacks.
Okay.
There's the field nigga, there's the yard nigga, and then there's the house nigga. And we fit in one of those 3 categories.
Brother Charles,
Yeah. But
I fully understand those. I grew up on the plantation.
yeah. But we all have the issue of wanting to please somebody else and not please ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's the conditioning that we have to break.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you study the Bible, you will look at people. There's only 2 things that's so important to humanity.
Mm-hmm.
There's that covenant.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. And God said, if you break this covenant, I'll make you a slave to another people,
Yep.
and you won't even know their language.
Mm-hmm.
And then religion is what killed the prophet
Yeah.
and run Moses out of town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's only 2 issues.
This is a hell of a conversation. I would like to go on and on for days with it, but we got to cut it off now. My name is Ahmad Shakaraki, and we catch you down the next block for more Street Talk. Peace.
Peace.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.